The first of 12 lectures I'm going to be giving here over the course of the year. And if you don't have lecture titles for the next 12, it's all on my Facebook page. Everything is there. And if you don't, if you want to have, see, I will be giving everybody a heads up a few days before the next one for when the next one is. So if your email is not on my list, then if you want to have a reminder of the next one, then just give me your email address. Okay, so you ready to just go? Is it on?
Yeah.
It is going?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do kidneys and bladder today because what I put up here is the 5 transformation theory, and I'm just going to apply it today to the kidney. But basically, the 5 transformation theory says that the spirits of summer create the fire chi, which manifests as, so I'm not going to go into all those, I'm just going to do the kidneys. And the spirits of late summer create the soil chi, and it manifests as such and such. And the spirits of fall create the metal chi, and the spirits of winter create the water chi. And this is what we're interested in, because the time for winter begins around December the 21st, that is the winter solstice, and goes till March the 21st, which is the spring equinox. So what this means is that the chi, the atmospheric chi of the winter is water chi, and it manifests as the kidney and bladder in the human organism in the northern hemisphere. So what that translates into, practically speaking, is our kidneys start to get cleansed out. In other words, it's what I call kidney season. So if the kidneys are out of balance, what happens is that we start to get manifestations, that is symptoms, of the kidneys cleansing themselves. And so what we try to do, at least what I try to do, and I suggest everybody else does, is that we use our knowledge and understanding, and of course this means we need to study the 5 transformation theory, and the best, well, I have it on my website, a lot of information on it, and the link is called Healing with the Seasons. And the great classic book that has a lot of information, most of which I've taken from this particular book on my website, is called Healing Ourselves by Noboru Muramoto. And it's a classic, and it's very essential reading. And so you should get that book, because my approach to macrobiotics practice and living is that this is a way of life change, which means it's a way of thinking change also, not just changing our way of eating. Changing our way of eating to a macrobiotic dietary intake is really selling macrobiotics short, for one thing, and then selling ourselves short for another. And we're simply not going to get out of what's in macrobiotic philosophy and theory and practices and principles and applications and whatnot if we don't study and we don't change our way of thinking, which means that we need to study yin and yang. I mean, it's a necessity. It's not an option, it's a necessity. Because so many people get into trouble with their macrobiotic practice because they do not study. You know, everybody will do very well eating macrobiotically for about maximum, and I mean, if you're eating, and this is if you're doing your own cooking. I mean, if you don't do your own cooking, forget it. It's not going to work. It's simply not going to work. sooner or later, you're not going to get the benefits of a macrobiotic. It's just not a pill. You know, a lot of people have other people cook for them. That's just basically laziness. It really is. And it's insincerity. It means you're not really serious about taking care of yourself and taking care of your environment, because when we take care of ourselves, we take care of the environment at the same time, not only in terms of the ecology and the resources and so forth, but also spiritually. So it's this is a very important and significant way of life. It really is. And the more we delve into it, the deeper. I've been doing it for 35 years. I haven't by any means learned everything that's going to be necessary to learn. So it's a continual learning process, and it's a continual study. And, you know, the study is never ending. So this 5 transformation theory, so that means that if we're practicing macrobiotics, we get into the modus operandi where we start to anticipate the seasons coming up, and we start to make adjustments to our diet to help strengthen those organs that are coming up over the next 3 months, so that they're ready by the time the healing forces, because this is what the winter season is, it's the healing time for the kidneys. But since most people's kidneys and bladders are out of balance and stagnated and full of toxins and are weak, this manifests as all kinds of symptoms, which I'll get into. So that's one thing. Because we're trying to become our own physicians. We're trying to become knowledgeable and coherent physicians, so that we take responsibility for our own health without having recourse to any other modus operandi, of which there's 2 trillion out there. So and this makes us self-reliant, it makes us independent, and it helps us to become free. Because that's the goal of macrobiotic way of life, is to become free and independent. That's why it's not to heal cancer or diabetes, or not that those will not happen, but they're a side effect. You know, there's a side effect of what we're doing, not the goal. It really is not. It's really important to understand that. And then the other tool I have here is this diagram of the day. It's a diagram of the day broken up into 2-hour segments, going from 12 noon to 12 a.m. and then from 12 a.m. to 12 noon. Now this diagram depicts the flow of qi through the meridians on a 24-hour cycle. It's a diurnal rhythm that happens and of course what I'm talking about here is the northern hemisphere. It's not the same in the southern hemisphere. You know, I mean, the seasons are different there. Because right now, we have the Australian Tennis Open starting, and it's the summertime, you know, so it's different there. So the thing is that from here we have heart from 12 to 2 p.m., then small intestine from 2 till 4, then kidneys, and then bladder, and then what is it here? It's heart governor. Now the heart governor, triple heater, they're 2 functions that are related to the condition of the small intestine and large intestine. And the heart governor regulates the overall metabolism of the body, and the triple heater regulates the internal body temperature to the ambient temperature that we're out, you know, that we're in, whether we're in our home or outside. So if our triple heater is working well, we are always in balance with regard to the outside temperature, so you don't feel cold when it's cold, and you don't feel hot when it's hot. So that's really, and then from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. is the liver, and then from here 2 till 4 is gallbladder, and here is lungs from 4 to 6 a.m., large intestine from 6 to 8 a.m. and then spleen, pancreas from 8 to 10, and stomach from 10 a.m. till 12 noon. This is noon. Okay, so now this is a very useful diagnostic tool because, as I said, this is a regular rhythm that takes place during the course of the day in the northern hemisphere in everybody, without exception. So what it's doing is, that, yes, of course the chi flow is going on all over the body all the time, but during these time frames it's focused on the organs that correspond to the particular time frame. So if those organs are under duress or toxic or stagnating or have problems going on with them, then when the chi flow goes into those organs at that particular time frame, we start to get symptoms that indicate that those organs are going through a strengthening, cleansing process. And these symptoms usually take the form of tiredness, number one. So like in the case of the kidneys, bladder, which is what we're focusing on tonight, that means that when we get to 4 o'clock, we hit the wall. And this is just a well-known phenomenon. You know, the 4 o'clock blues that people get in the workaday world. They just hit the wall at 4 o'clock and they have to, I mean, you've seen this commercial, right? This new product came out about a year or so ago, maybe 18 months ago. It's called 5-Hour Energy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you see they talk about that all the time. You know, so you have to take this, and it's just pure caffeine with let's see, what does it have? It has guacamole, avocado, and some other thing in there.
So the fat to calm
Right.
you when you're
Right.
hyped up on the caffeine.
Right, so that's what it has. And it's,
For people who have
It
been
sells-
drinking coffee every day for years and it's wearing, you know, it's not having its usual effect
right, and
anymore.
it sells by the gazillions. I mean, like 8 million a day, I think. And it costs about $2.50, $2.75 a shot. And you can buy it anywhere, you know, in the gas station.
Gas station.
Because I looked at it the other day. I was in the gas station. I thought I'd just check this stuff out.
Put it in your gas
You
tank.
don't drink it, right?
No, I just looked at the label, you know, and how much it costs. Oh, wow, these guys are making out like bandits. You know?
8 million a day.
So, yeah, 8 million a day. And it's been going up. I mean, it was like 3 million, then 5 million, then 8 million. And, you know, and so now they, you know, they have commercials on primetime TV. Whoa. So this is a, you know, so of course it doesn't deal with the problem, it just masks it. So, because this is a kidney problem. If it happens between 4 and 6, you know, if it happens between 10 a.m. and 12 noon, then it's, you know, it's the spleen, pancreas, stomach. I mean, no, it's the stomach, right? Because I usually, the thing about paired organs, is what we need to realize is that if there's problems going on in one, there's problems going on in the other. So if you heal one, or you know, of course it's always healing itself, but if we do